Hello, everyone. We are live. I am Monica. I am a part of the Infertility Unfiltered team. Looks like I'm getting some messages here. We're telling your followers that you've started a live video, so we're going to give everybody a few minutes to join. So we are here tonight to talk about Infertility Unfiltered's new partnership with Laurel Fertility. They are going to be sponsoring their patients to come through the Infertility Unfiltered programs. And I am so excited about this. I'm going to wait just a few minutes so we can pull in Nicole, who is a part of the Laurel Fertility team. Hi, everybody. I'm going to wave back at you. Hello, hello, hello. It's so good to see you guys. Thank you for joining. We at Infertility Unfiltered are so excited about this partnership. This is huge to be able to kind of have a scenario where a reproductive endocrinologist office is going to be paying for their patients to go through the Infertility Unfiltered program. So this is really, really exciting. I can't say enough good things about Laurel Fertility. They're a San Francisco-based reproductive endocrinologist office. And again, we are just waiting for them to join. So if you guys have any sort of questions that you want to pop into the box as we kind of go through this tonight, please do. No hesitations at all. We are here to answer any questions that you have. I'm still looking through here to see if they have joined. Doesn't look like they have joined quite yet. So go ahead, you guys, and you can, I love all these waves. Look at this technology that we have here. Go ahead, like I said, and pop any questions that you have in the box just about what is Infertility Unfiltered. If you want to know what this partnership is going to look like, if you have any questions about our programs, please let me know. So let's see here. Still waiting. I don't see Laurel. Not yet. Not yet. All right, everyone. While we're waiting, okay, let's see. I just got a message. Ready and logging into Laurel now. So it looks like Nicole is going to be logging in now. Like I said, Nicole from Laurel Fertility is going to be joining us. I always kind of laugh at the start of these lives because it's these moments where it's like, I don't know, for any of you who are a part of kind of like the corporate world. Oh, here is Laurel Fertility. I'm going to view request, go live. We are waiting. Go live. Hi.
Oh, hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great.
Very excited to have you join us tonight for this live to announce our partnership. We are just so thrilled. And I was kind of telling everybody who's joining that we could not be happier and just so thrilled that Laurel Fertility is going to be sponsoring their patients to come through the Infertility Unfiltered programs. So I was telling everybody that this is kind of just going to be, we're going to talk about Laurel Fertility and Infertility Unfiltered, give a little background about both of us, kind of talk about how this partnership came to be. And I'm going to hand it over to you for any questions that you want to start off with.
Okay, well, thank you so much for hosting. I'm super excited that we're actually getting this off the ground, that we're going to be able to offer this to our patients. It's something that we have been passionate about at Laurel for a long time. And even as an individual, I'm passionate about mental health and support. And I think that through all walks of life, it's so important. And so I'm excited that we're going to, kind of share a partnership tonight. And so a little bit about me and then a little bit about Laurel. So I'm the marketing director here. I've been in the fertility space for a little over 7 years. I've been with Laurel for a little over a year and a half. Love working here, a great team of people. We have, our home base is in San Francisco, but we have an office in Modesto, we have an office in Fresno, and we're opening up a new office in Oakland, so super excited about that.
That's great.
And kind of the genesis of kind of going to that a little bit and how I got connected with you guys was years ago when Instagram and influencers started becoming a thing, and I'm dating myself and I sound very old when I say this, but when that started, I'm a stalker on Instagram. I think I'm a positive stalker when it comes to people on social media talking about infertility and bringing awareness. And I had come across Victoria Nino and her journey, and had asked her to do a live session with me about the donor egg process and what that's like. And we had done a great session. And then years had passed, and I had reached out to her yet again to say, hey, let's do another live session. And we did about, I think it was in 2020, I forget which month it was, but we did another live session. And then she started talking with me about Infertility Unfiltered. And I love the concept. I loved everything I heard. And so for about 6 months, we have been talking back and forth about how we can figure out how to provide support to our patients going through the infertility journey, and how we can do that with Infertility Unfiltered. And then she connected me with you, which I was so excited about. And so that's kind of a little high level about the genesis of us getting connected, how I stalked her on Instagram, and now here we are doing the live, and now seeing that we're partnering together to offer support to our patients. So I think I'm going to throw it back to you to talk about what Infertility Unfiltered is and what you offer to people going through a fertility journey, because it's pretty amazing, and we're so excited to be partnered with you.
Well, thank you. And much like you, when I could date myself about Instagram as well. And I am someone who has been through infertility myself. And I started an Instagram account and was just looking for support. And it just so happened that Infertility Unfiltered was the second account that I started following. And at the time, Infertility Unfiltered was solely in-person support groups. But I was still finding such connection through their Instagram page. And I reached out to Victoria once I found that she was the founder. So a little bit of background about Victoria is that she went through her own infertility journey. It took her 8 years to conceive, and she went through donor conception, so donor eggs. And this was a huge emotional journey too, like what you said at the beginning of what you were talking about, that infertility is not only affecting your body, it affects your mental health. And so yes. Victoria very quickly realized she had actually joined, when her daughter was born, she had joined this kind of mommy and me group. And she was like, there should be this type of support for people going through the infertility journey. So she founded Infertility Unfiltered. And like I said, they started off as in-person support groups. And then COVID hit. And we were in a situation where, Victoria realized that she could be doing these support groups through Zoom and reach people all across the country. And I was just so enthralled and amazed by what Victoria was doing. And I wanted to be a support to other people who were going through infertility. So I reached out to her, and I became a session leader for some of these support groups, which I'll go into detail about in a few minutes. And I also started doing some business development and strategic partnership work with her. And that's how you and I ended up connecting. And it's just been such an amazing experience to, work with you and Laurel and really see an office and this, a reproductive endocrinologist office that is really focused on mental health, and not only focused on the physicality and the medical, and sometimes it can all get so sterile, and we're in the office, all the time. And our mental health is something that needs to be addressed. And so we've been talking for a very long time. We're here tonight to announce the support group that you are going to be sponsoring for your patients, which is so exciting. And so what this really means is, for patients who are part of Laurel Fertility, they have the opportunity to join Infertility Unfiltered support groups. We have 6 to 8 week sessions ranging from everything between optimizing your fertility, where you get to meet with reproductive endocrinologists and learn more, some of these natural paths too, just in terms of how you can optimize your fertility while you're going through your treatments, and all that's backed by doctors. And then we also have support groups for people who are going through infertility for the first time and they're not really sure how to meet people, and they just want that support. We have people, we have support groups for people who are going through infertility the second go around, secondary infertility. We also have support groups for people who are new parents and pregnant after infertility, because that's a huge thing as well. And all of our support groups, we bring on experts. So we have our session leaders, which are amazing members of the infertility community. And then we also have experts that join us. Like I said, reproductive endocrinologists, we have therapists, we have doulas, we have just a myriad of people who join us for these support groups. And the thing that's so amazing about this is that you walk away with people who get it. And I think that's part of the thing that's really hard when you're going through infertility, is that it feels so lonely. So that's one of the things that was so important to Victoria to really combat, is this feeling of, I don't know anyone who's going through this, or even if I do know someone who's going through it, I feel very disconnected from them. So creating these intimate settings, they're small groups. We have we cap it out at about 15 people, but typically it's between 8 and 10 people in our groups. So they're really intimate, and it's just an opportunity for people to come together. We're based on education, support, and just finding friendships and support. So it's a really amazing group. And like I said, we're just so excited that Laurel is really focusing on bringing that aspect to their patients.
Yeah, I love that. And that's one of the things that I really loved about Infertility Unfiltered was, part of my job was to, and still is to this day, is to sift through the weeds and look at, there's so many options out there for support groups, or for mental health, or there's different Instagram pages for going through treatment and wanting to connect with others, but there wasn't really one place that housed everything that someone could potentially need, because there's so many different facets to your infertility journey, which is one of the reasons I loved it so much. And that, like you said, there's someone who could be struggling from secondary infertility, there's your first time journey, you could be having recurrent miscarriages, and I know that having a miscarriage is so common, and I think women don't talk about it because they feel like it's a them problem. I myself have had a miscarriage, and I understand what that's like. And while I haven't had to do the full fertility journey, I know what a miscarriage is like. And I know that trying to find a community of people where you feel safe is hard. And so there's that. You have donor support groups, you have yoga, you have all of these amazing options for people. And I thought, let's try and partner together. And we're just so excited to partner with you to offer this to our patients at no cost. It's part of your treatment cycle. So for anyone who's watching, I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of messages after this live about how do we access the program, what happens. So we're working on that right now, and we'll have more information soon. But that's what I really loved about it, that there are options for people at different phases of the journey, which is wonderful, and not just donor. And I applaud Victoria and all of you for making this program, or these programs, so wonderful, because it's not just about going through a donor program. It's, like I said, secondary infertility, or you're pregnant and you already have a child, and so there's so many different things and so many facets. And so we are honored to partner with you guys, and we're so thankful that you let me harass you to do it.
Well, we are honored that you are, bringing this to your patients. And something that you said that really just struck me, which is so true about Victoria, our founder, is that after going through what she went through, she was like, wait a minute, there are so many different aspects to this. And how can we form basically an umbrella? Because infertility is basically an umbrella. And then there's so many different facets to infertility under that umbrella. And she created such an inclusive space overall, because she didn't want to limit it to, like you just said, just to her own experience. And the other thing that we really appreciated Infertility Unfiltered is that if Laurel patients go online and they see the courses and the series that we're offering, and they feel like, hey, you know what, and this is for anybody too, like, I really wish that there was X, Y, and Z. That's feedback that we want, because we want to be creating an environment and a space where anybody who's going through anything that has to do with reproductive health and bringing a child into the world has support. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, just in terms of Victoria really thinking outside of just her own experience as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said, I applaud it, because, there are, like I said, there's lots of options out there for people to find help and support. And there's so many great resources. So I'm not, downplaying any of those resources, and we partner with those resources as well. But when it comes to mental health and support, I think that there has been a huge gap in the community for that. And I think that for a long time, patients have been wanting the support, whether they wanted out. There are many clinics that have an in-house therapist, which is wonderful. There's many support groups out there, but then it's like, okay, the patient shouldn't have to do the research to try and find this for themselves. The clinic should be doing this, and we should be offering it as part of our treatment cycle. And so I'm so thankful that the providers and our staff at Laurel are open to my crazy ideas and seeing the future of treatment, and that they're all on board with mental health and mind-body connection, and that, support is needed. And, when it comes to fertility, our nurses aren't equipped. They're not trained to help support someone on their fertility journey. And it's also mentally hard for them they want to help. They're so wonderful and so kind. And I think it takes a special kind of person to be a nurse in the fertility space. And, it also kind of came off the heels of that too. Like, they have their own pain points and they want to help our patients, but how do we do that? And so I think with Infertility Unfiltered, we've answered those questions, which makes me so excited.
Definitely. I mean, even thinking back on my own infertility experience, I had a great reproductive endocrinologist, and I was so lucky that my nurse, Jenny Lynn, if you're out there, she had gone through her own experience as well. And that just so happened that I had matched up with this nurse. And I was emailing her probably 45 times a day. Bless this woman. Because that is not her job to answer like every, moment that I'm panicking about something. And, to be able to create these support groups and have people be able to reach out to somebody in their support group outside of just the times where we meet together. We hear from our groups all the time that, they were able to reach out to somebody within the group or the group themselves to talk through something versus reaching out to their doctor's office, because like what you just said is so true. The office is not equipped. There's so many other things that the office is doing that's really important to our fertility journeys that, being able to put this into Infertility Unfiltered and kind of give that extra support to your patients, I think is so huge. And like I said, we're just so honored and excited that we're going to be able to meet your patients and give them support that they need and that they deserve.
Yeah, I think that our patients are going to be really excited about. Well, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, and I'm praying that they will be. I think they will. I know that, digitally, access to Infertility Unfiltered and other amazing groups we work with, the Fertility Tribe and Fertility Help Hub and so many others. And so it's out there, but I think that they're not as inclined to maybe want to move forward. They're hesitant maybe because they don't know all the details. And so that's, that was on us to say, okay, we're going to do the work and we're going to find the right partners for you. And I'm so excited that the Laurel Fertility is going to be offering it at no cost to our patients, so that going through this journey, you have access to all of Infertility Unfiltered's support groups and options that they offer at no cost. And we're happy to offer that because we think that mind-body connection is so important. And mental health, aside, especially coming off the heels of COVID, I think we all have mental health things that we're dealing with. Yeah, let alone in the infertility space. So if you're going through an infertility journey, coming off of COVID, all of these life changes, wow, this is a great time for this to be happening.
Definitely, for sure. And that mind-body connection is huge. Like, I know for me, even after, failures that I had through my infertility experience, when I felt supported and I knew that I had a place to land and I had just this people kind of like wrapping their arms around me who got it, who understood it. Because, you know, the other thing too is we have people in our lives that support us and maybe know that we're going through infertility, but when you're not in the thick of it and you're not kind of going through it together, it's not the same type of support. And that's where, you know, this peer-led support is really important as well, that you're gaining people, like I said before, who are going through the same thing you're going through. And so when something hits and it hurts and it's not great, you have that place to land and make that mental connection with somebody and feel supported so that you, when you're ready, can pick yourself back up and feel, you know, like I can do this, or make a decision, you know, that's best for you. And we have seen overall just that from a mental health perspective, when we're going through anything, when we feel supported in our mental health, we have a more optimistic outlook on things. And I am not a toxic positivity person, and I know you're not either. We don't believe in toxic positivity.
No.
But we do believe in setting people up for success. And part of, again, we keep going back to this, part of the infertility journey is a mental health journey. And one thing that I do want to clarify again is that this is peer-led support. So we do have experts that join us. We have therapists, we have reproductive endocrinologists, we have doulas, like I said, we have nutritionists. We have the run of the gamut of the experts, but these groups are led by people like myself or Victoria or Marilyn Gomez, who I saw was on here. I'm not sure if she's still on, who have been through the infertility journey themselves. And at the end of the day, we are not looking to kind of, you know, I feel like you were kind of alluding to this. We're not looking to replace going to a clinical mental health psychologist. That is not what we're looking to do. We're looking at Infertility Unfiltered. We are a tool in the toolbox. And another thing that you said that is so important is that the infertility journey is so expensive as it is. So the fact that you're going to be offering this to your patients for free is huge. And I know that for myself, if this was offered to me at my office, I would have just been overjoyed and immediately been like, yes, where do I sign up? So, and that page is, we have a page that's ready to go for where people are going to be signing up.
Super excited. I hope so. I think that they will. And, you know, this was not a hard sell for our team. I think that, you know, we've been talking, like I said in the beginning, that trying to find a way to help our patients through the journey with that mental health connection is something that we're all passionate about in the office. And so when we started talking about partnering with you guys, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a hard sell. It was something that was like, yes, this is what we need to do. And I really hope that there are some patients on right now, and if they're not, like when you watch it later, that when we do give you all the information you need about it, please sign up for it, because it's there for you to take advantage of. You know, nobody in the office needs to know about your sign up. I'm not going to know about it. Monica's not going to know about it. It's anonymous from the office standpoint, but it's something that you can utilize during your journey. And I think that I'm hopeful that our patients will receive it the same way that we feel about it. Like, we're super excited, and I'm hopeful that they get super excited too. And I just think that as we go through this process and our patients start, you know, experiencing these peer-led groups and seeing all the options they have out there, I think we're going to see a lot of really great change. And as a fertility clinic, we're trying to make change. We want our patients to know that it is actually personalized experience. We really care about your success. We want it to be successful. The doctors want it to be successful. Everyone in the office does. We're not magicians, and we cannot make things happen. And so being able to offer this is something even more personalized from us to them. So we're super excited about that.
Yes. And I think offering this to your patients, like I said, if this was offered to me, that does show how much you care about your patient. And that does show that it means something to you guys, that your patients feel supported not only while they're in the office, your patients feel supported not only while they're going through treatments, but your patients feel supported outside as well. So I really appreciate you guys doing this. And I'm just, like I said, I'm so excited. And, you know, we're launching. And so this is kind of a live situation. And so if your patients have any questions, they can reach out. Should they be reaching out to the Laurel Instagram page to find out more?
Sure, they can reach out to the Laurel Instagram page, or they can email me directly, Nicole@laurelfertility.com. Like, they can absolutely do that. But reaching out on Instagram you might get a faster response sometimes. I have some team members that will say that Nicole does not respond to her emails fast enough. And in my own defense, it's because I'm working on partnerships like this to make sure our patients are getting what they need. So, but yeah, Instagram's like the first line of defense, and then you can always email me directly, Nicole@laurelfertility.com. And I know that I see here there's like I saw like one question. I don't know if you see any others that had come through, but someone asked a question about how they're going through their second round of IUI and any helpful suggestions. So before we wrap up, I can kind of just say from a mental health standpoint, I'm not a doctor, but helpful suggestions are making sure you're following your protocols, listening to your doctor, listening to their staff, asking questions, and taking the time for self-care. Self-care is so important when you're going through your infertility journey. And I know that that may come off as cliche, but taking the time for yourself to try and at least get yourself out of the headspace of thinking about it all the time.
Right.
Self-care is important, and do it. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. So that would be my advice. I don't know if you have advice for her, but
I think the self-care aspect is really important. And you and I have actually talked about this on one of our first calls. I don't know if you remember, but self-care isn't just like going and taking yourself out for a manicure, because you can be getting your nails done, now that the world is a little bit open, and you're still in your own headspace and sitting there thinking about infertility, or like the person next to you. I remember this happened to me. That it's like the person next to me, I was sat in between. I just had a miscarriage, and I was sat in between two people who were both pregnant, getting my nails done, trying to have my self-care. And I was like, this is not
this isn't good.
Yes. And so self-care really is taking that time from the mental health space to get to a place where you feel that support, where you feel that you can, like you said, step outside and not just only be thinking about infertility and miscarriage, whatever it is that you've been through. And I love what you said too, just listening to your doctors, advocating for yourself, asking the questions. Blair Nelson from Fab Fertility, she's an amazing person to follow, and she had a post a really long time ago. She's one of the founders of Fertility Rally. She has this amazing post that said, ask the damn question. Just ask the question. Because I think one of the things that we feel as patients is that we don't want to, meanwhile, I was emailing Jenny Lynn every 22 seconds, but a lot of times as patients, we're scared to ask the questions. And if we're actually sitting down for an appointment with our RE, we can feel like we have to kind of pretend like we understand everything that's going on. And any reproductive endocrinologist that I have talked to, they always give me the same answer. Do you know how many years I went to school for this? And you think I expect you to know the answer the first time I explain it? Ask me 172 times, ask the questions. And so, it's not, I don't have any suggestions of like, here's what I did that got me pregnant, because I think that there are so many different routes to make that happen. But feeling confident in your treatment plan, feeling confident with your office that you're at, and finding the support that you need, I think is huge, and just making this journey a little bit easier.
Yeah, I agree. And, I'm sorry, I had a little pop-up thing there. I thought I turned that off. I guess I'm not phone savvy now anymore either. I'm feeling my age right now. But before we wrap up our live, I'm just going to kind of talk to that one point a bit, is that, asking the questions is so important. You don't know all the answers. They're not annoyed. No physician or nurse is annoyed with your questions. And also, you have to find the right doctor for you. And, you know, we did this in our live recently with Dr. Smikle and Danny Bella, and it was a great live. And she talked about, she's still going through her journey, and we were talking a lot about finding the right doctor for you. It's not insulting if you do not have a connection with your REI. That's okay. Then find one that you do have a connection with, because again, mind-body connection and feeling comfortable and that you are a person who's valued in front of them is so important. So making sure that you feel that you found the right person. Interview doctors, that's okay. I'm sure I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that on an IG Live because you want everyone to come to Laurel, but I think our doctors are amazing, so a little side plug there. But you do have to find the right fit for you. Everybody's personality is different, and if you are in a place where you don't feel like the doctor is, you're just not connecting, other things don't connect either sometimes. Not all the time, but I just wanted to touch on that because you should interview and talk to doctors about what you're going through, and when you find the right one, then go ahead and get started.
Well, I think that also says a lot about Laurel in general, that you would even say that that is really important and not like give this like set hard sell on why you guys are the best. And, you know, that is so true. The connection with your doctor is so important. And I think at times as patients, we get scared. Like we're like, well, we don't want to insult the doctor. We don't want to, we kind of get really wrapped up in that. And so I think that is such an amazing point that you have made. And kind of just to wrap this up again, I just want to say we're so excited about this partnership. We are so thankful that you are thinking of your patients in this way and providing them another arm of support as they go through something that literally turns your whole life upside down. And we're honored that you are doing this with Infertility Unfiltered. Thank you so much for all the work that you put into this and getting this off the ground. And I'm sure we will be doing another live sometime in the future to talk about how the program is going. And I'm sure that there will be expansions as well. So we will continue these lives.
Sounds good. Thank you for doing it with me so late at night on East Coast time, because we're both on the East Coast. So thank you.
Of course.
And I hope everyone enjoyed it. It was so great. And we'll talk soon.
All right. Good night, guys. Everyone have a
good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.